What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TECKreacts, where every beat counts. My name is Matt Tech, and we are doing some new Bring Me the Horizon. I actually didn't know that they were doing. I mean, I assume that they're always putting out new music. The last time I did a Bring Me the Horizon was we did a live stream actually of their Royal Albert Hall. Yeah, the Royal Albert Hall performance. The one that, like, the big Doomed one. The first reaction I ever did was Doomed at the Royal Albert Hall. And then I decided to do the full performance. So that is actually up on, I think that's on my Patreon because of copyright stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, there's a link down in the description that takes you there. But we're going to do this new song called Dehumanized. And just a couple of screenshots suggest to me that it is a deathcore song, which I honestly don't know the difference between all the different cores that are out there. Like if somebody asked me, hey, what is deathcore music? I couldn't accurately describe it for you. I literally don't know. I'm not too big into like the subgenres, but I am reading some comments on the actual music video, and it says the top comment is "Dad came back with milk 20 years later." A lot of the comments tend to suggest this is, yeah, do we all make a MySpace again? Bring Me the Horizon back to factory reset. A lot of this seems to suggest that this is like old Bring Me the Horizon. But I don't know because I've only heard what I've heard so far. And I don't know what's old and what's new. So for me, this is just something new. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is Dehumanized by Bring Me the Horizon. Well, that's never good when there's a warning like that. Wait. Oh, it is Bring Me the Horizon. Okay, I've never... okay. I've never heard them this heavy before. Okay, let's go. I take it. I don't like where this is going, though. Whoa. Jeez. Okay, so is this how they started with music like this? Since all the references tend to be like bring back old Bring Me the Horizon, is this what they started? Is this how they started? Tell me more in the comments. It looks like they're in like a slaughterhouse. Oh my gosh. What a crazy freaking music video. Song is a banger, though. The rhythms are ridiculous. Is that the stun gun thing that they kill cows with? Jeez. I just realized I didn't turn my light on. That's better. Ooh, a breakdown. Yay. Ooh. Nasty. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What the freaking heck did I just watch? Oh my gosh. What did I just watch? Oh my gosh. That was one of the most... that was one of the most violent music videos I've ever seen. And I've seen some bad ones. Wow, what is that about? Okay, so we got people in a slaughterhouse. From my understanding, Ollie's he's a vegan, right? Is this a vegan thing? Like if we did the same thing to people that we do to animals type of thing? Which I had a really good ribeye last night, by the way. I got this rub that I created in when I was in San Antonio for a company event. Our company hosted this party, and as part of the party, we got to create our own spice rubs. And I created this unbelievable spice rub, and I lathered it all over my steak last night and like let it soak in it for a day. So when I cooked it, it was like really in the meat. Anyway, that's probably doesn't help Ollie's case here. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. Never heard. I mean, I've heard a couple, like a dozen or so Bring Me the Horizon songs. I've never heard anything like that. That was kind of wild. But all the comments suggested that this was like OG Bring Me the Horizon. You guys will have to help me out with that, because all I know is the Royal Albert Hall performances and a couple of songs here and there, but not... Somebody said in there, like one of the comments down here was 2006. That's kind of crazy. If they started out like this and then got more to like the pop, metal, rock, metalcore type stuff nowadays, it's really interesting. Um, But every song's got a pulse. So let's find this one. 95% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel. Come on. All right. So I was doing some research on the song because initially I thought it was like a vegan thing. But it looks like on Instagram, Ollie cleared that up. He said that it was inspired by a novel he was reading called Tender as the Flesh. Never heard of it, but like a couple cliff notes, it's about a world where humans get farmed after animals go extinct. Interesting. And he says the real trigger was being told that raising a flag on stage for a humanitarian crisis would carry career-ending consequences. That's the event the whole song was built on, and it looks like it's from a specific moment in 2025 where he basically holds up a Palestinian flag mid-concert or something. There's a line in the song about a abattoir, which I guess is just another word for slaughterhouse. It's a metaphor for facing extinction of its own livelihood. Empathy becomes an act of anarchy, and that's where you find out if your values are real or just talk. That's interesting. That's interesting. So it's not about animals. It's about what happens to a person when speaking up costs something real. There's also a couple lines in the song that I found because I couldn't understand any of the words. But here's some lines that stood out as I looked them up. Some of us are butchers, some of us are lambs. Send me to the abattoir. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Let's find out which one I am. That sounds like it's him testing whether his own compassion survives the actual risk that might come with it, I guess. And then there's another line that says, empathy is heresy and hope is a disease. It's interesting when people will tell you that caring is bad for business. Like, it doesn't really matter what side you hold, right? Like, you have somebody like this who might be saying something about Palestine and people are telling him, hey, that's going to be career ending for you. Then you've got someone like, just off the top of my head, like Chris Pratt, who is pretty unapologetic about his Christian faith and he stands up for it quite a bit. And yet people will tell him that'll be a career ender for you. And to neither one, it seems to have been. So he said that raising a flag could end his career, and that's the moment that this whole song came from. I'm not here to debate the Israel-Palestine thing. This is not the place for that. I have my own views on this. If you want to go a little bit deeper on that, there is a song that Aurora did called, I don't remember what the song is called. Maybe Not My Body. I don't remember. It's over on my Patreon. And it was on a live stream where there was like a really good discussion with the chat about the Palestine-Israel thing. I just had a different perspective than Aurora did. I would probably say that my perspective is probably different than Ollie's here as well. But that can be visited over on the Patreon there. But as far as this video goes, this isn't for that. What I think sitting with for this one is a little bit simpler to understand would be a lot of us never get tested as publicly as somebody like Ollie and Chris Pratt are tested, right? Now, we all get smaller versions of that same choice. We can stay quiet and we can stay comfortable, or we can say the true thing and pay for it. And I think that's really the moment where you find out like who you actually are. Are you willing to say uncomfortable things? But at the same time, like, not everything needs commentary. Not everything needs your commentary. Social media is full of people who automatically become experts on the thing that's being talked about. I would venture to say 99.999% of comments on social media are just noise and offer no true value whatsoever. I would say that about the initial posts as well. 99.9999% of what's out there doesn't actually offer any value. So that's kind of what I think the pulse is for this song. Let me know if I'm wrong down in the comments. I just took it straight from Ollie's Instagram. I just found his Instagram about the book he's reading, about the flag, about that specific moment. Pulled a couple lyrics, and that's kind of where I sat with it. Let me know what you think about the song. And is this something that they're going to do more of? Or are they going to go down the road of like bringing back more OG stuff like this? Would be really curious. The song itself was freaking amazing. It's not as deathcore as I like initially thought it would be. It had really cool rhythms. It had really cool syncopation. The drum parts were awesome. I love the halftime solo, so you kind of slow it down and get more of like a mellow solo on top of it. But I thought it was cool. It was cool. I'd like to see more. See you guys in the next one.